Hello there, I'm Mr. D and welcome to Tool of the Day. Today we're going to be talking about a tool called the hacksaw. The hacksaw is meant for cutting metal, and a lot of the saws that we find in the workshop aren't. So it's important to know the difference between the hacksaw and other kinds of saws that you're likely to find in the workshop. The teeth on a hacksaw blade are very, very tiny, and the blade is made out of very hard steel. It has to be harder than the material it's cutting. So if it's designed for cutting metal, that means it has to be made out of a particularly hard metal so that these teeth can actually cut through relatively hard materials. Because the teeth are so small, it can actually be a lousy choice for cutting things like wood, because the particles of wood will get gummed up in the tiny teeth instead of being released the way they would with a wood cutting saw. Hacksaws come in a couple of different sizes, normally different lengths, so you can choose one that is best for you. The other nice thing about hacksaws is that their blades are replaceable, so if they do get bent, if they lose teeth, if they get worn out, you just replace them with a fresh blade, and those are relatively inexpensive. There's a bit of a quality range there. You can get hacksaws at the dollar store, but they'll last for cutting a couple of bolts and then they wear right out. You can pay a little bit more for some much higher quality blades that will stand up to tougher materials and a longer amount of cutting. Another nice feature about the hacksaw is that the blade can be turned by rotating these pins in the end. They can be rotated by 90-degree increments, so you can approach material from the side if that is a better option than trying to approach it straight on. Like most other American saws, the teeth are all designed to point away from the user so that it is cutting when you're pushing away from you and not so much when you're pulling towards you. Although with the hacksaw, the blades are reversible, so if you wanted to, you could flip the blade around and you could get it to cut like a pull saw that cuts on the pull stroke instead of the push stroke. When it comes to cutting metal, there's lots of different ways to do it using power tools, but the jump in price from a hacksaw to any metal cutting power tool is pretty steep. So if you just have occasional metal pieces that need to be cut, like a bolt here or a metal rod there, a hacksaw is an inexpensive way to be able to do it. I'm Mr. D, and thanks for watching Tool of the Day.